I'm sure that at some point in each and every one of your guys' childhoods, you've heard of the book series Diary of a Wimpy Kid, or probably even watched the movie. If not, the main character, Greg, struggles with the overwhelming life of being a middle school boy. He struggles with things like having an annoying brother that's always picking on him, and his brother has an obnoxious band called Loaded Diaper that's always practicing at the house. Greg also struggles with being an outcast, so he makes sure to keep friends by him like Rowley and Fregley. To also ensure that Greg is not an outcast, he makes sure to stay clear of the cheese touch. If you're unfamiliar with what that is from the book, there's an old moldy piece of cheese sitting out on the blacktop, and whoever touches it is cursed with the cheese touch.
So, as obviously it may sound, our game is based upon the theme of the cheese touch from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This game is a fast-paced game that is played a lot like Spoons and uses the game mechanisms of set collection in order to collect 3 character cards in order to gain points. Also uses hand management, where you have to make the decision of which card you're going to pick up and which 5 cards you're going to keep, and then decide which card you're going to discard. And also it uses the take that game mechanism, where you can sabotage one another by giving people the cheese touch. This game is fun and highly interactive with the different action cards that are provided, and it also allows you to relive your childhood.
So the contents of the Cheese Touch game, we have 99 character cards, 34 of the action cards, 6 Cheese Touch tokens, and 5 character spoons. So the character cards and the character spoons are obviously based around characters from the book, and the action cards and the Cheese Touch tokens are based more around the plot that happens in the first book of the series. So how do you actually play the Cheese Touch? You win the round by earning the most points. So there are a total of 3 rounds played, and whoever has the most points at the end of the round wins a round, and whoever has the most round wins at the end of the game wins the game. So you actually earn points through the set collection that Becca mentioned, so you get 3 of a kind of a character card and earn points. So for example, if this was in your hand, you would have 3 of a kind of the Mammy Heffley card, and just to be clear, you wouldn't earn 3 points for each card, you would earn 3 points total for the set as a whole. You also use set collection through the action cards, and each action card has a specific action that goes with it that is listed in the rule set. So, for example, if you were to collect the Loaded Diaper card, you would yell Loaded Diaper, and each person would grab a character spoon from the middle of the table, and just like Spoons is played, if there are 5 players, there's only 4 spoons. So the player who fails to grab a spoon will earn a Cheese Touch token, and you want to stay clear of this because Cheese Touch tokens cause you to lose points at the end of the round when tallying up your points. And also the Cheese Touch token uses the take that mechanism because certain action cards you can sabotage players by giving them the Cheese Touch.
So you're probably like, well, how do we actually play? So I'm going to show an example. So this is how we set up the game itself. Here, 4 players are played, but you can either play anywhere from 4 to 6 players. So everybody's going to have a personal pile that is to the right of them, and then you're going to discard cards to the left of you into the next person's personal pile. You're going to go around in a circle this way. You're going to set up your spoons in the middle of the table, as well as all the Cheese Touch tokens in the middle. Each player is going to have roughly about 15 cards in their personal pile, and anything that's left over will go into the extra community piles in the middle. So, to start the round, someone's going to say go, and everyone's going to pick up 5 cards in their hand. So, for example, player 3 here, it has these cards in their hand. Whenever the round starts, they're going to pick up a card from the personal pile. Here, the card picked up was a sibling rivalry card. So the player must decide which card they are going to discard, and here, this card, the character cards, they don't want, so they decide to discard it. So in this new hand here, we have 2 sibling rivalry cards. And the 2 sibling rivalry cards, once you collect 2 in the rule set, you must yell stop, and the action card is played. This is very important during gameplay so that it's not very chaotic. With the sibling rivalry card, you and the player to your right, which would be player 2 over here, would have to throw down the character card with the highest point value. Whoever has the lowest point value card will receive the Cheese Touch, and the round is resumed normally. So this was dealt with action cards. Now I'm going to show you an example with character cards. So with character cards, so we'll say this is a new turn that's going around, player 3 has these cards in their hand, and they have 2 friendly cards, and after they pick up 1 card, they keep 3 in their hand, and they must discard 1. Then they will take the 3 character cards, and you must throw them in a pile in front of you and keep them, and so you only have 2 cards remaining in your hand. However, you must always have 5 cards in your hand, so the player has to pick up 3 new cards. Now, on here there's a 5 displayed. That means that you will get 5 points total for that entire set collection.
So after a lot of play tests, we received a lot of feedback, and one of the main concerns people had was that with the action cards and the gameplay going on, it got way too chaotic and confusing. For example, if I was playing and I got the set collection for the action cards and was able to complete my action, how did I tell everyone else to stop the game so I could complete my action? So that was one of the main concerns people had. And 2 other main concerns that people had was it wasn't exactly clear when you know when the round is over and when the game is over. I guess there was some miscommunication in our rule set, and it just was unclear when to stop playing the round and the game.
So we made some changes to the rule set itself and made it extra clear by bolding it and saying when the round was over, and the round was over whenever all the cheese touch tokens were given out, as well as the game was over after 3 rounds were played. We also added 33 more character cards so that less action cards would be played and causing it to be a little less chaotic throughout gameplay. And we also added this point tracker card so that at the end of the round, everyone can tally up their points and keep track so they don't have to remember, oh, I had this many points after the 3rd round.
Ultimately, after much gameplay and feedback from you guys, we created the most fun and interesting version of the game possible. We took your guys' feedback with deep consideration, and we had a lot of fun creating the game, and we hope that you guys have fun playing it. So, will you be brave enough to take the risk of getting the cheese touch?
Or will you be just another wimpy kid? Thank you.